I feel very privileged. You know, it's a very small amount of people get to do what I do in the world.
With an Indy 500 win and 3 IndyCar championships, Scott Dixon is the most successful IndyCar driver of his generation.
He's everything that any team owner could ever want. I mean, he's the whole package. If you drew the picture or made the movie of the guy, that would be him.
This weekend, the Verizon IndyCar Series moves to Mid-Ohio, where Target Chip Ganassi Racing has 10 wins, with half of those races won by Scott Dixon.
And for the 5th time, Dixon dominates Mid-Ohio in a first-class display of how to get it done from last to first.
On the verge of his 35th birthday, the New Zealand native is quickly moving up the sports career wins list, now 5th all time.
For me right now, it's amazing to be on that short list, you know, with Foyt, Andretti, Unser, you know, like those are, and then Dixon, that's kind of weird.
He's just a great guy, and he will go down as one of the all-time great IndyCar drivers. He just continues to build on that record, but as a person, there's nobody better.
It's gone by fast, so yeah, I guess I can believe that it's the 14th year, but still 14 years with Chip, and that team, you know, is obviously the longest standing driver there, so it's a lot of years, and I hope it is a career team that, you know, a team that I even see my last IndyCar years at. I've changed a lot, you know, I've become a dad, I think I've become a better racer. I think I've become better at the PR side of things and media, and you know, I've just grown as a person in lots of different areas.
2015 marked Scott Dixon's 15th IndyCar season, the last 14 with Target Chip Ganassi Racing.
I think I was 19 or 20 when I first started in kart. First full year with Chip, I think I was 21 or 22. I think you evolve, right? You learn from a lot of your mistakes. You know, I think you get asked a lot of questions of like, you know, hey, what would you tell or change, you know, your 21-year-old self if you could, you know, give them some tips. And I don't know, like I don't think I would change my life. You know, yes, you do things that you shouldn't have, and you know, but it's all about you know, learning from mistakes and areas that you know, you maybe didn't make the right choices, but in IndyCar racing or any kind of formula, I think you're constantly learning. You know, there's not one day that you should think that you know everything.
He may not know everything, just more than most, experiencing it all in his career. And since 2000, nobody has more IndyCar race wins than Scott Dixon.
I think that's the cool thing about motor racing too in general, is there's so many different personalities and the way they either clash or they gel or whatever it is. And for me now, turning 35, you know, and seeing, you know, younger drivers coming in, you know, say just 20, just as I was when I first came into kart. You know, and even Joseph at, you know, his early stage, you know, he's been in the series for a while now, but you know, seeing their transitions and you know, I think it's very important for IndyCar. I think it's very important for the evolution of racing and you know, seeing the different personalities. And yes, you're gonna have problems. I remember myself at Road America one year, you know, getting into a, you know, altercation with Michael Andretti, you know, racing for the same part of the track. You know, it's just, you know, you're gonna push the boundaries and you know, you just hope that nobody gets hurt. You know, that's the biggest fundamental part about it. But yeah, that's racing, man. That's racing. You're gonna have different people trying to do different things.
With just 3 races left in the 2015 season, Scott Dixon is in contention for his 4th championship with Target Chip Ganassi Racing in the ultra-competitive Verizon IndyCar Series.
Right now, IndyCar is getting great traction. You know, the racing is fantastic. The competition level is fantastic. The personalities that we have, you know, the diversity, you know, diversity from races of just, you know, road and street courses to short ovals to, you know, super speedways. It's one of the toughest series or championships to ever win in the world. So it's, for me, it's my passion. I love the diversity, and you have to be good at all disciplines. And especially now with some of the younger guys and Americans too, that are you know, striking right now is making the IndyCar Series very, very good to watch.
You're the new champion, buddy. It's a hell of a job out there. Good day.
Thank you very much. Awesome.
And the champion for 2003 is Scott Dixon.
I think my first season I won the championship in 2003. I think I DNF'd 6 races and still won the championship. You know, if you did that these days, you'd barely make the top 10. So, you know, the competition has changed. You know, I think with how everything's confined by, you know, the Verizon IndyCar Series with competition, you know, even the small teams can compete at just about the same level. You turn up to these race weekends, it's not just 4 or 5 cars, you know, the depth is amazingly strong, and you know, you're looking at 15 different competitors that could probably win that weekend. You know, this season I think we've had 9 different winners already.
With 37 career wins, including the Indy 500 and 3 IndyCar championships, Scott Dixon remains hungry for more.
I think another 3 500s would be fantastic, and a couple of championships. You know, that's what we're in the game for. You know, is to win races, and if we can win races, we can definitely you know, do more of those. So it's hard, man. It's extremely tough. You know, the competition is through the roof right now, and you've got to be on your A game. And you know, I think with Team Target and the future, I think we can hopefully achieve some more of those.
Scott Dixon wins at Long Beach for the first time.
With wins at Long Beach and Texas this year, Scott Dixon now has 37 career victories, good for 5th on IndyCar's all-time wins list.
For me, it's stats and numbers, and something, you know, I've always said that when it's done with, I hope I can look back at those numbers and be happy with them. And you know, for me right now, it's amazing to be on that short list, you know, with Foyt, Andretti, Unser, you know, like those are, and then Dixon. That's kind of weird. You know, I feel very privileged. You know, it's a very small amount of people get to do what I do in the world. You know, I think if you look at elite motor racing classes, NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, you know, you're looking at maybe 100 people and thousands of people trying to do the same thing. So, you know, I love doing what I do. I love, you know, going out there racing for Team Target and trying to win championships, trying to win races.
Scott married his wife Emma in 2008, and they have 2 beautiful girls that have grown up in front of the TV cameras.
You do try to keep your life as private as possible, but we'll look back at those moments in 20 years' time, and to have them on footage, and it's amazing. Like, that was one of the most favourite days we've had in a long time. Like, it was very special, and to have the girls there to share it with us was really, really magical.
On the eve of his 35th birthday, Emma and the girls make a trip to their favorite store for the birthday boy.
What do you really want to get Daddy? What do you want to get him?
I want to get him a toy.
You want to get him
I want to get him a race car toy.
You do?
I was blessed with, you know, a great wife with Emma, and then obviously right now with two little girls. You know, Poppy just turned 6, Tilly will turn 4 in September. You know, they're big characters, big personalities, and a lot of fun.
Okay, that's a great present. I think he'll love that. Okay.
I'm still getting that little book.
He really likes Kit Kats. Oh, look, these are quite cute. Look, the mini Kit Kat bags, and he can keep them on the road with him, couldn't he?
Yeah, cute.
Do you like those?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll like them?
Yeah.
Now, girls, you have to keep this a secret. You can't tell Daddy what we got him. Are you only good at keeping secrets?
Yeah.
Promise? No telling Daddy what we got him, okay?
There was a boy on telly who couldn't.
I know, we have to keep the secret. They're terrible at keeping secrets.
Here.
Thanks
Have a
so
great
much.
day.
Thanks,
He
Sarah.
was terrible. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Emma grew up around horses and has shared her love for them with Scott and their girls.
We'll come up here, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. You know, I'm a big animal lover, and it's really nice to teach them respect, you know, for the animals, and they love the horses as well. This is the only horsepower Scott's scared of. He can drive like 230 miles per hour, but he's still, he's not much of a horsey boy, are you?
I like horses.
Yay.
They just go a bit crazy.
See, if you sit up nice and straight, you've got loads of balance. Come on.
No, don't
if
say
you
whoa.
say whoa, it'll make him stop.
He stops.
Okay, say walk on.
Walk on.
Walk on then. Walk
There
on.
we go.
Scott has his happy place on the track, I'm sure, but this is like my happy place. The girls and Otis. Otis's story, he was actually an ex-race horse that kind of got abandoned, you know, as they do sometimes. You know, they get their money's worth and sadly they discard them. And he was brought into the barn I was riding at, and he was so nervous and shy, but I thought he had like the same face as Scott, like just kind eyes. No, but it's the gingerness. I don't know what it is, but he had like those kind eyes, and we kind of rescued him really and took him on. So I was able to ride him for about 5 years. Oh, I was able to ride him for about 5 years, and then his injuries from the racetrack just kept catching up with him, and so we decided to retire him. Now he's just a really expensive pet, as Scott likes to call. But we love him. He's part of the family, aren't you, Odie? We're really lucky. It has become quite a circus. Yeah, I remember when I first met Scott in London, we were, you know, young 20-year-olds, just taking each day as it comes, and, you know, it is really amazing. Like, we love our lives. We've got 2 beautiful girls and a dream life. Like, you know, it's amazing. I count on my blessings every day.
This might be called the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but decades of open-wheel history makes this place special.
The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course is a 13-turn racing circuit in the rolling hills of central Ohio. The 2.25-mile track is considered one of the most competitive courses on the IndyCar schedule.
I love it. You know, for me, it's definitely in my wheelhouse for some reason that just gel well at that place and have always done, you know, fairly well. So I don't know. It's one of those tracks that you just really love going to.
It's a fun track. It's a rhythm track. You've got to have a good technique, a lot of compromise between the fast corner and the slow corners, but this is a place that an IndyCar just feels even quicker than normal. The commitment required to go fast around here is something special.
The significance of running a lap here is all about getting the rhythm right through the corners. It's a very technical racetrack, and drivers like Scott Dixon have always done a really good job of doing that.
Chip Ganassi's teams have won 10 times here, 5 by Scott Dixon.
We just seem to like this place. This place is good to us. The fans are great here, and I like coming back here every year.
It's a great track for us. You know, I think we obviously need to fare well here. You know, do some good things on the points table.
When we come to Mid-Ohio, we have to talk about Mr. Mid-Ohio, Scott Dixon.
Scott usually dominates here on race day, but has struggled in qualifying with just 1 pole position. But not this year. Scott is fast in qualifying.
Just watching the lap work here, guys. Obviously still on the Firestone Blacks, but the balance is impeccable here. You can see he's got tremendous grip at the front of the car. The car points where he wants to go, and when he gets after the throttle, it's aggressive.
Scott is just amazing, you know. He's in his 14th year at Chip Ganassi Racing. He kind of makes it look effortless, and then he comes here to Mid-Ohio. This track and this guy, he is such a rock star here.
IndyCar introduced new aero kits this year. The new bodywork gives the cars more grip and less drag. And at Mid-Ohio, Scott Dixon is working on breaking the track record.
And now Dixon, wow, a 104.895. It's been a long time since we've seen IndyCars this fast at Mid-Ohio.
Dixon breaks the 15-year-old track record. But the new mark didn't last long.
Charlie Kimball goes the fastest. Wow. Eclipses Dixon's time. Charlie Kimball sets a new qualifying lap record. Line coming up for Dixon. Whoa, look at that.
Good night.
He beats Charlie Kimball's lap record, a 104.659 for Dixon.
Good night, folks. Game over. I think that'll be the lap that stands.
The lap does stand, and Scott Dixon will start from the pole tomorrow, and now holds the track record.
It's going to be a tough race no matter where you start, but obviously starting near the front is a big battle in itself. But hi, man, I love this place.
Scott Dixon wins his 25th career pole, and with a win tomorrow, would be just one win shy of tying Al Unser Jr. for 4th on IndyCar's career wins list.
He's very, very talented, and he will go down as one of the all-time great IndyCar drivers. He just continues to build on that record. But as a person, there's nobody better.
He's everything you want as a driver. I mean, he's the competitor on the track. He's the competitor off the track. He's everything that any team owner could ever want. I mean, he's the whole package. He's a family man, great young kids, great wife, mother and father are behind his career the whole way. If you drew the picture or made the movie of the guy, that would be him.
Magnificent Mid-Ohio. We've been racing IndyCars here since 1980, counting down in the championship. Just 3 races remain in the 2015 season.
With the season winding down, Scott Dixon is focused on his 4th IndyCar championship. He's just 47 points behind leader Juan Pablo Montoya and 6 points behind second place Graham Rahal. Last year, Dixon won the race after starting last. This year, he wants to win from the pole.
Any track that you go to that you've won previously, and especially the significant amount of times that we've won at Mid-Ohio, you know, it kind of puts you at ease. But in IndyCar racing, and especially with the competition level, it's not something you can bank on. It's not something that you can guarantee. You know, we've had some pretty, you know, bad weekends there as well. But you know, I think last year's one was a weird transition. You know, starting last and coming through for a win, which was the first time I've ever been a part of something like that.
I think it's really difficult no matter where you start the race. We're as concerned today in starting at the front as we were at the back.
Drivers, start your engines!
We'll start field 1.
Green, green, we are green.
Right outside the left car, outside even with your Ranger.
Bourdais nearly slammed into Scott Dixon.
After a close call at the start of the race, Scott begins to pull away from the field.
Dixon has taken off.
He's on your pace. Still 2 seconds. That's a great lap and a great number at that speed. Well done.
Everybody's going to be concerned about Dixon just running away with this thing.
Full course, the yellow, pits are closed. Full course, yellow, pits are closed.
The caution for debris on lap 21 changes the race.
Pits are open, pits are open here.
The drivers that already pitted will stay on the track, while everyone else, including Dixon, will need to pit.
Okay, right in here we've got an open pit, right on the board for us. Concentrate on flare. Good, clear out.
Scott rejoins the field in 13th position.
We asked the question right at the beginning of the show, who or what could beat Scott Dixon, Mr. Mid-Ohio here today? Is it going to be this caution?
Now the advantage goes to Montoya and Rahal.
Green, green, we are green.
A third of the way through the race, and Scott is running 12th, over 8 seconds behind the leader.
That's a horrible. Stay with it, stay with it.
Scott is struggling with the harder compound black tires, making it very difficult to pass.
We're kind of treading water at the moment, just trying to get to the next stop here so we can get red tires on the car and try to find a gap on the racetrack. We'll probably come as soon as we can.
Pit on this lap, pit.
On lap 37, Scott is back in the pits. The team puts the soft compound red tires back on the car.
Look at how quickly those reds come in. Those are sticker reds, and he just hustled it through turn 2.
Passing comes at a premium here at Mid-Ohio. It is not the easiest place to execute moves.
With the new tires, Scott again makes his way through the field.
Just keep working on closing the gap. Good job. Video's coming now.
Scott has climbed his way back up to 7th place, but is stuck behind Simon Pagano, teammate to points leader Juan Pablo Montoya.
They've got team tactics going on here. Use your best judgment.
There is a roadblock ahead of the Target Chip Ganassi Chevrolet.
We're going to pit on this lap.
Unable to get around the number 22 Penske car, the team calls Scott in for his final stop, with 27 laps left in the race.
Straight in here for us. Right on the board.
If a yellow falls, Dixon's right back in the game. But it has to happen in the next lap or two.
Exactly.
Sage Karam backwards in turn 5, full course yellow, as Rahal's on pit lane.
Full yellow, let's pack up now, pack up.
Could be a major turning point in the complexion of this race.
So a huge gain for Scott Dixon. And coincidence, guys, that it's his teammate that spins.
Shortly after Scott's last stop, fellow Ganassi driver Sage Karam spins, bringing out a caution. Dixon moves up 3 spots, while current race and championship leader Juan Pablo Montoya falls back to 12th.
Okay, we should be green this time. Robbie will be calling it for you.
And how hard is it going to be for Dixon to get around Pagano on this restart?
Very, very difficult.
Green, 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 we are green.
Here comes Pagano. Simon Pagano wanted that inside line. Justin Wilson will go around. Dixon in the mix there.
Scott makes one final attempt to take the lead, but he can't catch former teammate Graham Rahal.
A Rahal wins at Mid-Ohio. It's Graham's turn.
Good job there, Scott. Well done.
On the very last lap, Rahal took the most laps led and got an extra point. So that gap now goes to 9 points.
Scott Dixon finishes 4th, now just 34 points behind Juan Pablo Montoya, with 2 races left in the 2015 season.
That is what it is. You know, we've closed the gap a little bit. Congrats to Graham. You know, he did a hell of a job and great strategy. Maybe we need to start qualifying towards the back of the field.